Alrighty, guys. So the banks reported earnings this morning, and we have to break them down in this video. We're going to talk about JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and we're going to talk about Citibank. And on top of that, what's going on in the overall markets, which right now are finally starting to turn green. So if you guys find value, all I ask is to hit that like button and to subscribe. And with that being said, cheers. Of course, take a sip of your coffee, guys. We need our coffee, and on top of that, our water. Don't forget, stay hydrated on top of that good old coffee. And with that being said, guys, let's dive into the video. So check it out. Right now, we have SPY up barely, but it is up 0.05% as the Russell's up 0.4%, and we have the NASDAQ up 0.25% as the Dow is pretty much break even like SPY. And believe it or not, guys, the VIX is down almost under 18 points right now. It is down almost 4% on the day, which is nuts. Look at this. The VIX has not been in the 17s probably in over a year at this point. Let me see here. If I zoom in a little bit, last time it was under 18. It was about a year ago, over a year ago, in December of 2021. Yeah, and then we saw the VIX go up from December 2021 all the way, from about 17 to about almost 40, which that's when the bear market really started to kick in about a year ago. So, yeah, VIX is about to go under 18 by the looks of it. It is down almost 4% right now when I'm filming this video. And even though SPY, Triple Q, they're all going green right now, which is nice, there's really not much different to break down here. There's nothing crazy going on these charts that we haven't already covered, in my previous video. But if we look at it quickly, you guys know coming up here, well, maybe you don't know if you haven't been watching the channel, which if that's you and you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. We can see SPY right now, to me at least, looks like it is being dominated by the bulls here, especially on the hourly chart. You guys can see we are, by the looks of it, we clearly put a lower high in here at 393. Previous one was 387. Before that, even though you guys can't see it, my face is there, we hit 378. So clearly we're putting in higher lows. And by the looks of it, even if it doesn't happen today, maybe at some point next week, we could be testing the highs from yesterday, being about 398. 400, and I'll actually set my alert. We do have about 2 hours left today, so we could see more upside in the last 2 hours. It's currently 1:45 p.m. on the East Coast, so I'll set my alert at 398, and I'll do another one here. Do I already have one at 400? I don't think so. So I'll set one at 400 as well. If we do start taking those levels out from yesterday, SPY could really start to fly. After that, 405, 410, 13, these are some levels coming up that I'm looking at. And Triple Q, if I pull that up and zoom in a little bit, right now in real time, we're testing 280, which is going to be big. 280 was support all throughout the middle of November, throughout pretty much the middle of December. Then we failed at that point, ran down all the way to 260. So now Triple Q is on the hourly chart, clearly putting in higher lows, and you guys can see clear as day. We talked about that in my last video, and now we're going to test the highs. We are right now at 280, which those were the highs from yesterday. So if we do successfully break 280, which I suspect we will, maybe even by the time, maybe throughout this video, we might hit 280 as I'm filming. If we do break that point, 285 is next, followed by, who knows? 290, 295, maybe even higher. So, yeah, bulls are looking pretty good here. They're coming in pretty, slow. Not even slowly. Throughout the entire day, bulls have been running, on the intraday chart. It's just that we sold off a lot in the pre-market. So we're just recovering those pre-market losses. But again, we're starting to finally go green. So we'll see how the next 2 hours go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. And with that being said, let's talk about these bank stocks. JP Morgan reported. We also had Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup. Or Citibank. JP Morgan today ended up doing $3.57 versus the $3.07 estimate. So they beat EPS by 50 cents, and on revenue, they beat as well. Not as crazy of a beat, but still, they beat, and year over year, their revenue's up a good amount. So revenue came in at $34.54 billion versus the $34.35 billion estimated, and revenue a year ago was $29.25 billion. So year over year, guys, their revenue's up over $5 billion for JP Morgan, which that's nothing to sneeze at. That's really good. And the crazy thing is, investment banking revenue was down 57% year over year, and investment banking fees are down 58%, which is just unbelievable. And you guys can see once these earnings came out today, the stock tanked. I mean, this thing was down 5%. It hit $133 in the pre-market, but no joke, since the market's open, the second the market's open, this thing just took off. It went from 134-ish, 5. Now it's over 140, 142. It's up intraday right now about 6% from where it opened, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down. And this is one of those stocks that I wish I bought months ago. I was pretty close to buying it. I mentioned this on the channel before when it was getting towards 100, and I was saying I want to buy it under 100 in the 80s, 90s. It never got there, and it's running away. I mean, this thing is up 2.4% now. It's in the mid hundreds. I mean, this thing is up massively in the past couple of weeks, and it doesn't look like it wants to reverse back to the downside, at least as of now. It is up 40%, to give you an exact number, guys, from that 101 low that was hit not too long ago. That was in the middle of October. So JP Morgan, not too shabby there. Bank of America, let's pull that up. This is also up 2% on the day, which is it's pretty solid. And we saw Bank of America, they reported 85 cents versus 77 cents EPS estimated, so they beat on that. And they ended up beating on revenue, $24.5 billion versus $24.33 billion estimated. So double beat for Bank of America as well. Again, same with JP Morgan. And we're seeing Bank of America for the first time in a couple of weeks now, probably close to 2 months. It's finally trading above these moving averages on the 4-hour chart. And with today's move, we took the highs out not only from earlier this past week or this week, but also last week. We're at a multi-week high now. So let's see what levels are coming up here on BAC. No doubt about it. We have some resistances coming up. 35.50 being one of them. That's where we double topped in the end of August throughout the middle of September. Then if that were to break, okay, the next resistance would be around $36.80 to about $37. That's roughly where this thing peaked in the middle of August. And if that were to break, we could be running 38.50, maybe even higher. So BAC, not too bad, looking pretty solid. Wells Fargo on the flip side, not so solid. This thing is, now it's up 2%. Earlier, man, these things are swinging hard. Earlier in the day, it was down a lot. What the heck's going on here? This is nuts. Last I checked, it was down. Now it's up. Look at that. So Wells Fargo ended up doing 67 cents EPS versus 66 cents estimated. So they beat on that, but revenue did not beat. Revenue came in at $19.66 billion versus $19.98 billion estimated. So they missed revenue, beat EPS, and we're noticing, again, what a massive move intraday. We're talking a move of almost 10%. And we're noticing it's gone green. Earlier in the day when these numbers came out, the stock went from 43 all the way down to 40. So at one point it was down 7% almost, and now it's recovered all that and it's green, like I said. So if we pull the 4-hour chart up, let me show you guys this. Wells Fargo's chart does not look that bad. Looks like we're holding the bottom of the channel. We're back over the moving averages now. And notice, mind you, this is a big level here where we are now, not because of the 180 SMA, but notice how $44, that was the high from the middle of December. We hit that point and failed. This point needs to break. Bulls need to get over that point. And if they do, we break 44, 45, there could be a lot more upside on Wells Fargo, just simply looking at the chart. Now, granted, if something crazy happens with the fundamentals, that could go out the window. The chart is not the end-all, be-all, guys. There's a lot that goes into this. But based on the chart, it doesn't look that bad, especially if the mid-40s, if we can see bulls start pushing past mid-40s. So that's Wells Fargo. We also had Citi, like I said, report, Citigroup, and they're getting to a very big resistance point as well, $50. You guys can see back in the middle of November, we hit 50, failed, went down all the way to 43. Now we're back at $50. Now we're testing it again. And we can see also from the beginning of September, we failed at about 50, 51. So, yeah, Citigroup is going to be tough. This is going to be a tough spot since it's already up, and a lot of these bank stocks are already up a ton. But since this one's in a downtrend, unlike some of the other ones, this one's in a downtrend. It's up 25% in the past couple of months. It's going to be tough for this to start getting breaking out even further. It's going to have, in my opinion, some difficulty at about $54, $55. If that is able to to break past 55, then maybe I'm wrong. Or not that I'm wrong, but maybe, it'll reverse. But it's just not there yet. That's the reality of the matter. And we saw EPS of $1.16 versus $1.14. So they beat on that on revenue of $18.01 billion versus $17.90 billion estimated. So they beat EPS, beat on revenue. So a lot of these banks, guys, they double beat. All of them except for Wells Fargo, which missed on revenue. Other than that miss on revenue, all these banks beat on their, maybe not their guidance. I haven't dug into the guidance for all these banks yet, but in terms of their just basic EPS revenue numbers, all of them beat except for Wells Fargo on revenue. So not too bad, guys. And we all know earnings season is now upon us. And the fact that these banks reported not too bad of earnings, decent earnings, and all of them are moving up for them. Yeah, all the stocks are up, right? Yeah, all of them are up. That's setting the tone pretty nicely right now for earnings. This is a very good sign, in my opinion. And who knows? I mean, we could reverse next week and everything could go red. But as of now, all banks are up. Markets are moving up. And they're getting ready. The markets are getting ready for the earnings that are coming next week and the week after that. These next 2 weeks are going to be very, very big. A lot of the biggest companies in the world are reporting later this month. Guys, we have companies like Apple reporting. Let's pull that up. Apple's reporting on the they're on the 2nd of February. But either way, I mean, that's 2-3 weeks from now, guys. I mean, it's right around the corner. Amazon, I think, is at the end of this month, or am I wrong on that too? Yeah, I'm wrong on that too. Maybe they're all in early February, but we're leading up to it, guys, and there are companies reporting, but I don't have them written down right now. But make sure to subscribe because we're going to be making a bunch more content in the next coming days on what earnings to watch out for, what stocks to look at, earnings projections and numbers, all that good stuff. So if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button and to subscribe. It's really important. I appreciate you guys, as always, for all the help with the good old YouTube algorithm. And if you want some free stocks, up to 15 stocks, each up to $2,000 from Moomoo, use that link down below or go to stocksarefest.com/Moomoo. And you could also get up to 12 fractional shares from Webull with any amount deposited. Also link down below or go to stocksarefest.com/Webull. And with that being said, guys, let's not dive into the video. Let's dive into the exit of the video. I don't know why that was a brain fart, guys. Let's pretend that didn't happen. I almost knocked my coffee over too. Either way, cheers, guys. I appreciate you all for watching. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there. Peace out.